skunk in your life. Hello, everybody. This is Rabbi Pearl. We may be able to change our noses, but never our Moses. And so let us consider the lessons from a skunk. The skunk is the most intriguing of all species. Think about this. Because of the power of the odor it emits from the skunk when it's cornered is often described as disgusting and despicable. Being an animal, however, it has no control over its behavior and its instincts. When it comes to all of us, comes to man, on the other hand, the name and reputation he creates for himself will determine whether his neighbors will befriend him because of his fragrant surroundings or distance themselves from him due to the unpleasant smell. A person's positive reputation, if he lives like a Mensch, he creates a pleasant smell, an environment for him, whereas his lowly behavior produces an awful odor for those in his presence. And so, all of us, man is endowed with a divine gift of free choice. When he abuses this privilege and falls victim to negative behavior, he is considered to be a carrier of a far worse odor than a skunk. The aura he exudes smells of a person who detests his fellow man, preventing him from approaching and engaging in any type of friendship. Now, on the funny side, as you can see, I'm wearing my red nose. And this comes with a warning, my friends. My warning is that we just had the Jewish calendar, the Jewish holiday of Shavuos, celebrating the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai, where it was led by Moses. He helped us receive the Ten Commandments from Hashem. But beware, we may be able to change our noses, but never our Moses. So when God formed man out of the dust of the earth, he then breathed the breath of life into his nostrils through the nose. So think about this. The nose is the entry point of the soul of man. Our souls enter into our body through our nose. So let's spend a few moments now. What does Judaism say about the nose? First thing is, why is it we wish blessings of good health to someone who sneezes? Why? Why is that? And what does Judaism say about doing a nose job? The nose and its function are really very central to life in Jewish law. For example, a criterion for establishing a person's death is that no breath is detectable at the nose. So our question now is, why do we wish blessings of health to someone who sneezes? Hachu, right? The person sneezes, and someone invariably will say automatically, God bless you, Gesundheit. Let's go back in time and learn what our sages have to say about sneezing. On the one hand, on the one column, we have dangerous sneezes. The Medrash tells us that in bygone days, sneezing was actually quite dangerous. It boded imminent death. The person would sneeze and pass away. From the day that heaven and earth were created, no one was ever sick. If one was on the road or in the marketplace and he would sneeze, his soul, his neshama, would leave by the way of his nostrils. He would pass away. What happened? Along came our forefather Jacob, and he prayed to Hashem about this. He says, listen, Hashem, don't take my soul from me before I have the opportunity to instruct my children and bless them. And God agreed with him. And from that time on, mankind was given a warning to get their act together. That's where illness stepped in. And we actually see the first time we read in the Torah about someone getting sick, ill, was Jacob. So accordingly, the Medrash concludes, we wish life to someone who sneezes, since at some time it used to represent the opposite. That's why we say Gesundheit. Thank God you're alive. Also, we all typically take our right hand and we pull our left ear when we sneeze. The reason is because the ear is listening to the message from Mount Sinai. And when a person sneezes and realizes he's alive, thank God, God is giving him more life, he pulls his ear to remind him, am I listening to God's message? Am I doing the appropriate life in, earning the wonderful gift of life that Hashem gives us? Now, the good side of sneezing, on the other hand, the Talmud records, there's a positive side to sneezing. The Talmud says the following: if a person sneezes while praying, it's a good sign for him. Why? Because sneezing makes a person feel better, and that's an indication that his prayers are being accepted up in heaven. Just as he's given satisfaction, so he is a sign that he's giving satisfaction to Hashem, to the Almighty above. The next question is, what does Judaism say about a nose job? Right? And surely if someone has a nose looking like mine, you got problems, right? So what does Judaism say? Am I allowed to have my nose fixed up in a serious sense? Both from a legal and a philosophical point of view. Are they permitted? Or are we considered tampering with God's creation? First things first, in Jewish consciousness, let's remember, we're not the owners of our body. And therefore, one is not allowed to cause any wound to oneself. That's right from the Code of Jewish law. However, a cosmetic procedure that is constructive and not destructive, which means the intent of the nose job is to heal something, not to harm, this does not violate the prohibition against wounding oneself. Now, what does it mean to constructive? Constructive here is defined by repairing an obvious defect. However, if done purely for vain reasons, it would be forbidden. Regarding the philosophical aspects, there are different ways to look at things. One way is to accept a large nose as part of a person's, that's his muzzle, that's his personal challenge. Learning how to live with it can help a person build self-esteem in a way that promotes inner growth and strength. On the other hand, a person is entitled to use the means God has given him to make his stay on this earth more pleasant. So if one's nose is causing considerable distress, then an operation may be in order. Some good reasons to get cosmetic surgery are, let's say for a person because of their nose, they can't earn a living, it's difficult to get married, or it's causing serious marital strife, then it will be okay. In the words of the sages, if the emotional pain is so great that one is embarrassed to be seen in public, then there is no pain greater than this, says the Talmud. Now, as far as the philosophical question of changing one's destiny and tampering with a divinely ordained package, right? Basically, if you're born with a nose, a long nose, etc., that's what God gave you. Now, that presents no problem in Jewish thought, because perfecting the world is our job. Let's say we see this from the mitzvah of bris milah, of circumcision. God creates a human body with a slight imperfection, which requires our involvement to make it perfect. So there's a mitzvah of having a circumcision. In this way, we are partners with the Almighty in repairing and perfecting the world. And that message carries over to all of our endeavors. So if a person has a situation where his nose needs to be fixed, it will be okay. He's fixing his body. And therefore, I conclude, dear friends, for all of us appreciating what Hashem blesses us with, and to use all of our God-given talents in helping to make this world a home for Hashem. May we all be blessed with the coming of Mashiach. There will be no more wars, no more famines, no more need for cosmetic surgery or any surgery. All will be healthy and well. This is your host, Rabbi Pearl. Thank you so much for joining us on our program. Thank you.